Hi, I'm Barry Conrad, and this is Banter with BC. Cheers.
Cheers.
And today I'm here with my guest, Tim Robards. Tim, you want to introduce yourself to the people?
Yes, I am the 42-year-old, handsomely, devilishly good-looking, older ex-neighbours
Alumni?
Yeah, alumni.
Alumni.
What do? I wear many hats. I am still a chiropractor, actor, a winemaker, writer, bullshit artist. I do a lot of different things. And father, husband.
And to kick things off, we like to start with something called Two Truths and a Lie. Do you know how this works?
Yes.
You're up.
Yes. Okay. So when I was younger, I went to Costa Rica for a modeling competition and I won the talent competition by pulling my undies out with one hand, waving them around. You know the trick is to, you know, boom, rip them out.
Okay.
Won the talent competition doing that.
All right.
Number two, I acted alongside Academy Award winner Kate Blanchett, and we did a scene together where it was very intimate. Had to kiss up and down her neck, and it was quite raunchy.
Okay.
That was a few years ago now. And then number three was still in the acting realm. I was I worked on The Matrix 2 and 3. I was the stand-in and body double for Keanu Reeves.
This is hard. Historically speaking, I never get these right. I got Dan's right, got it right. So let's see if I can do the same. I'm gonna say the lie is the Costa Rica. Is it?
Yes. The only part of it that's not true is that I didn't win. So I still went in a modeling competition and went in the talent quest part. This is so bad. And I was like, what the hell can I do? So I just went up there and I got a second pair of undies, stuffed them in the undies, and I did the kind of like Zoolander thing. Yeah. And then just pulled it out of my underwear.
That's funny.
Everyone else is getting up to monologues and dancing and this and that, and I just ripped out my underwear.
Is there video? Anna, do you have video footage of this?
It's a part of my life that I really want to put behind me. But at the time, I was like, hey, free flight, accommodation, free trip to Costa Rica. But it was this weirdest thing. There was a lot of South American men, and they're really into their vanity.
Yeah.
And so they were some young people that had all this plastic surgery. They were so vain. It was the most weirdest thing I've been a part of.
Okay.
But it was, I used to have a girlfriend in Puerto Rico for a bit, and it was like a stepping stone while I was at uni. I'm like, that'll get me almost there, and then I'll go and see her. And that's another story.
But I have to clarify, so I got that right.
Yes, you got that right.
Yes! Finally, again.
Yeah.
I used to do judo for many years. In 2017, I had a life-altering event that left me unable to speak without gasping for breath. And I have a huge Marvel comic book collection and trading card collection. What do you reckon? What you got?
You used to be a judo champion, or you were just judo?
Did it for many years.
Okay.
Yeah.
2017.
Life-altering event.
Okay, I'm gonna say the judo is the lie.
You sure?
I'm gonna go with that.
You are correct.
Yes.
I used to do Taekwondo, but my dad did judo.
Yeah.
Not believable enough.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just couldn't picture you throwing people. You're too gentle, you know?
What do you mean?
Striking, but I don't know.
So what's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
One thing that comes to mind, I was shooting a commercial. This is when I was in university. And so I had no money. There was a bit where we were all like Olympians. And the lead guy, I wasn't the lead guy, he was a beautiful, good looking man, but he was very, very uncoordinated. And he had to do this scene where he had to jump and slam dunk a basketball or something.
Yeah.
And he was that uncoordinated, he couldn't even jump.
What do you mean?
Jump, when he'd land, he couldn't land softly. He was like, he was the most uncoordinated guy you've ever seen.
Really?
So they spent 5 hours. The shoot day was, I don't know, it was like a 6-hour shoot day. And then they got to that bit. We clocked into overtime, and I said to myself, I said, right, if I make 5 hours of double time today. I'm going to buy myself a plane ticket. There was a girl in the States. I was quite a, there was a girl back in the day.
Yeah.
And there was a girl in the States I really wanted to see. And I was like, if I get enough double time money, I'm going to buy a ticket. And literally as I'm watching the hours on my watch click over and I get the 5 hours, like bang, bought a ticket.
Yeah.
Flew out like 2 days later.
That's pretty spontaneous.
Oh, well, you know,
That's pretty spontaneous.
and thanks to this guy who,
The uncut guy.
yeah, the uncle guy.
Shout out. Do you remember his name? You can put him on blast.
No. He was a very good looking man, but
But just not.
couldn't jump for shit.
How can you not land? I'm trying to picture that visual. So you just jumped and then he kicked back. Try this in. Here we go.
Normal person jumps,
You land.
land, right?
Yeah.
He would go, and they're like, that, we can't have you go
Yeah. And we can't use that.
uncoordinated. They called me in to try and teach him how to jump and land.
Wow. What's one of the biggest stereotypes surrounding what you do?
One thing I've always struggled with was that I went to uni for 9 years. It's not because I was stupid, but just kept trying to change it. But I started with a physics degree, light physics degree. It was the hardest physics you can do. Became a chiropractor, went through medical science, all of that. And from the image that people see, like I remember sitting on the plane next to a lady and we're chatting and she's like, there's so much more to you. I thought you were just like the dude who does pull-ups and eats brown rice and chicken.
Yeah.
So that stereotype of just this sort of meathead who has nothing to offer except, you know, I can lift weights and do chin-ups and I'm, you know, a physical, like it's, yeah, there's a lot more to me than that. As a chiropractor, you know, you spend 40 hours a week talking to people, listening to their issues, and there's a, like, well, you know, there's a whole other side to things that people, you don't really get to communicate through socials.
Yeah.
And through, like, even when I've done a bit of reality TV as The Bachelor or whatever, you know, they kind of put you in this box. You're the Mr. Prim and Proper,
Yeah.
got everything together, and, you know, Mr. Charming, and you can't really make too many jokes, or if you do, they just cut it out, or whenever I make jokes, like you put something, Daily Mail will put it up as if, like, taking the sarcasm out of it and just be like it's an actual quote that I've said. And it's like, that was said in a joking way, you know? I remember one time we're on Kyle and Jackie O and I said something like, that morning, Kyle was like, oh, you know, I read this stuff in the paper, you guys are breaking up all the time.
Yeah.
I said, mate, well, this morning when I was getting ready and I was, what was I saying? So I was bumping and rummaging around in the dark and whatever, getting ready. And he goes, what, you were bumping and doing whatever to your wife this morning? And I said, and I made the quick joke and I just said, mate, we're like 3 years into a relationship. You don't still do it in the morning, do you? Just like this. Anyway, the headline is, Tim says we don't do it in the morning anymore. And Anna sees that before she even reads what the hell, listens to the conversation.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you doing talking about our sex life on air and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you know, this is how things get taken out of context, and it's a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes, especially when your missus thinks you're talking about your sex life, when it wasn't even a statement, it was actually a question.
Yeah.
But they don't take that into account. So anyway.
And sarcastic, not even.
Yes, for a while they're like,
you know,
as The Bachelor, like they kind of paint you as this charming gentleman, and you know, I felt for so long that I couldn't make a joke because they're also always trying to get a headline, get it, like bait you, and you'd say something, they wouldn't. It's just as we're saying, they wouldn't say it with the joke you've said. They'd just take it and write it as you've said it, and I just felt so boxed in. Like I felt like I couldn't say anything, show any personality, because they just do the opposite. It's taken a while to break through that and just don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
In a way. Excuse my French.
No, all good. On what you were saying, like you wear a lot of hats. Chiropractor, actor, model. You have like a fitness empire essentially. OG Bachelor. Did you always know where you were headed, or was it something that a case of saying yes to doors opening in the moment?
I never knew where I was headed. I think if I went back to when I was 29.
Yeah.
So Bachelor was like, I was 30. And through that, I was like, right, I want to expand my chiropractic practices. And I had at this stage, I worked at one, part-owned 2 others. Then I was like, I actually wanted to get into, you know, there's like Thai massage places.
Really?
They're all like just little weird. Yeah. I wanted to make something like you walk in, you step over steps surrounded by water, like, you know, like
I get what you're saying.
Those, you've got so many of those bathhouses now that they do it really well. I wanted something like you feel like you transcended into Bali or somewhere, you know? You really create an experience for people.
Oasis kind of thing. Yeah.
That was my goal for a bit there, and then got asked to do The Bachelor, decided to do that. Things changed. That was a big change for me. I had to step out of my comfort zone so much doing that. I was put in front of people for ridicule, and I'm the kind of guy that I just like everyone to like me, you know, and to put yourself out there and be up for criticism and this and that, I had to really step in and own a lot of myself and be happy with who I am, what I am. I worked with a life coach going into that. I was in quite a low place, and I'm like, I really need to build myself back up again because my confidence, everything was just at a really low spot. I did a bit of work with him, also looking at what do I want in a relationship. If you are clear on what you want, you're less likely to see it.
Right.
So I did a lot of work on what do I really want out of a partner, out of life, what are my goals, and tied all that in so that when I went onto the show, I'd be more likely to either, some people call it, you know, attracting it in, manifesting it. Did a lot of work on my values. So essentially I just find things that I like, I do the work and I get good at things that I like and have fun doing it. And if I'm not liking something or I get over it, I move and
change.
Yeah. So I think I create the opportunity in my life. You know, even with like say Bachelor, there was a big change there and I grew a lot as a man, but even that opportunity, I didn't specifically create it going, I want to be the Bachelor, so I'm going to start doing this. But what I was doing in my life made me a good person for that role.
Yeah, awesome.
You know?
I hear what you're saying.
So,
you know, that's amazing what you just shared, and something you said was interesting about The Bachelor, and this is the first ever Bachelor for people that don't know. And I'm imagining you went into that for love and for the right reasons. You're working yourself, as you said, and you're working your values. Now, like, there's a dime a dozen reality shows. There's all these different reality shows around love and finding partnership and whatnot. What are your thoughts on the landscape of reality TV for that reason versus now? Because now it's so saturated. Do you think it's the same, different? How?
I think it's definitely changed. I think there's still people that do go into them, these shows, with good intentions. For me, there was 3 reasons to go in there. One was to find a girl, which I thought I'd seen the American version, and I'm like, there's a bunch of hot girls, you know, and they look good, they seem good, they seem like, you know, they got great jobs, this and that. So they told me we're going to find 25 of the best girls from around the country. I'd given a list of all these things I was looking for. So I'm like, this is like having a personal dating manager going through, sifting through, doing the hard work for you. So I really thought there's a good chance that I could meet someone.
Yeah.
And because it was the first season, you know, I think they really wanted the love story to work.
Right.
So that was one reason. 2, I was in a point in my life where I'm like, I feel like I just need some sort of change, some excitement, something.
Yeah.
So this may bring about different opportunities. But it also, on the flip side, I could be the laughingstock of Australia and this be an absolute, like, I may not be able to walk around without feeling like an idiot, people laughing at me. I don't know how I'm going to be when people break up with me on the show, how having my first kiss, I could become the laughingstock of Australia. Australia can be very judgmental compared to America on certain things. So, you know, that was a gamble, but I had to really trust myself there. And the third thing was it would just be an adventure. And I was like, you know what, how often do you get to go and do something like that where one day you're in a private jet, next minute you're on a helicopter doing this, you're riding horses on the beach, So it was like, I want an adventure, never know what growth I get out of that, but also I really think there's a good chance I'll find a partner on there. And I did.
Yeah.
So these days, I think, you know, I think we helped the franchise to give it in that first year.
Yeah.
People go, cool, they found love. And now they have a bit of freedom. If it doesn't work out, sometimes that can be better because it gets more magazines writing about it or there's more controversy. You know, I think, and it's hard for the networks. It is hard. They've got to continually keep evolving. People need more drama, more drama. So I think we got in luckily where we needed less drama and we get a bit more of a love story, but it's you gotta keep upping the drama.
The sensationalism just and the clickbait and it's like everywhere you turn it seems like there's a new breakup or shock horror, they work together before the show or whatnot. It's just interesting, and I was curious about that and what you thought of that. And that's the perception that I think a lot of Australians would have had with your season. First one, it's like the first Australian Idol. It's like the OG. No one knows if it's going to work, but they come up with like the best intentions. So yeah. I do think there's value in if people want to go on shows like reality TV and they are talented or they do want to find love and they do find fame and they can monetize that, great. But if that's like the motivating factor, I don't know if that's necessarily the best, you know?
Yeah. These days it would be a different thing. Like when I went on it, there wasn't really social media. There was Facebook, but there was no like paid people and getting paid for social media. It wasn't like a job. There wasn't an influencer role. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
So that wasn't a thing for me. Like if I had that presented to me now, like, yeah, you got to admit it'd be an enticing thing. And I think you'd be silly to go, oh, you know, I wasn't even looking at that. But I think at the same time, if you go on and you're not actually really open to finding someone, if it's a romantic sort of thing, then I'm all about integrity. And I think that usually ends up shining through, bites them in the butt, usually on the show or soon after.
Yeah.
Sometimes people forget, but you know, I can sleep at night. Well, some people can't. And they talk about like a lot of these shows, there's some mental health issues and people really struggle. Before you go on these shows, don't take them lightly. You have to go on with good intentions and integrity. It's when you don't do that, you end up coming out of it. People see through it. You cop stuff afterwards, you cop criticism, all of that, because you went in it without the integrity you should have had.
Absolutely. That's so true.
Two people I get sort of compared to, looks-wise. One was just the other day, put in an audition, and the lady was from the States, and she wrote back and just said, he's a dead ringer for Matthew McConaughey. It's crazy. So I don't know if it's the way I delivered in the scene, whatever, because I don't think I look like Matthew McConaughey, but maybe, I don't know, something there. And then the other one I've always been compared to is Eric Banner. We used to go out and people go, you're Eric Banner, Eric Banner, da, da, da. Yeah, so
I can, you know,
like there's sometimes I go out and I go, yeah, I'm his brother, Derek Banner.
I can kind of, that's really good. John, I can like, let's just like put the Matthew and Eric right here. I kind of see, yeah, what do you reckon? I see the Eric more than the Matthew.
Who's the other guy?
Not Matthew.
Joe Manganiello. One time. There's a bit of Joe Manganiello in there. Depends when he's got short hair or curly hair.
I recken that's more like the build and like
he's 6'5", but he's massive.
He's massive, yeah.
I met him, had a thing, we had to interview I had to interview him. I just got roped in because I looked like him and they wanted me to semi-interview him, and
that's funny.
When you shake someone's hand, they just have this like a massive hand. I was like, just a big fat hand, you know?
Yeah.
You don't think of him as a big dude.
Not really.
He's 6'5", I think.
He's pretty tall.
Yeah.
What are you not very good at? Other than taking undies off without...
My wife will definitely agree with this. Look, I think I'm exceptional at it, but time management. It's not like I'm bad. I do push it a bit. You know, I try and fit a lot of things into my day. And so my wife's kind of like, I mean, here, like I was 15 minutes late. My wife is...
Hold on. So he was an hour late today. So I'm pretending to be happy. No, it's fine.
Like, I'm kind of like, I'm like, look, if it's 10 minutes here or there, unless it's really going to throw someone out, I don't want to put someone out. But you know, when it's like, it's just because someone said, you know, it starts at 10, doesn't mean it's not going to kill them if they're at 10 past 10. Well, my wife will be like, we're freaking, like, she'll be freaking out beforehand. We'll leave the house. She's in a half an hour, and you rock up and you're like 10 past, half the people aren't even there. And you're like, we just nearly broke up over this. For what reason? You know, I'm like the kind of person that I don't want to, if someone really needs you and they're relying on you, then it's on me. But, you know, I'm a little bit, but I'm not. But I'm also, because I'm trying to do a lot of things and fit them in. I'm not just sitting at home going, yeah, I'll be there soon.
With your cat?
Yeah, with the cat. I'm like, probably sitting in the sauna. Have I got, babe? I got to sweat. I got a few more toxins to get rid of. And then,
wow. Sorry, babe. I just have a few more toxins. I'll be there soon.
A few more cows on the treadmill.
Wow, that's
great.
Okay, no, let's zoom out for a second, because I feel like it's different. If it's a party, if it's an audition or like you're filming for a job, if it's a funeral, if it's different. You know what I mean? Like there's different rules, right? Parties, you can't be on time.
Like 15 years of chiropractor.
Yeah.
I could not be there later than my patients. Couple times where you must sneak through the door and just, are they looking? You might be like 1 minute, 2 minutes late. You never, unless there'd have to be something really bad for you to be 10 minutes late for your client if you're not even there. There's certain things you can run a little bit late for, and there's other things you have to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
Back in Neighbours though, they'd always have you there 45 minutes before you're on screen. And my hair and makeup, and this also kind of got further influence with COVID, where I used to just say, look, I used to put a tiny bit of bit of powder so you get shiny, like tiny bit of powder. Actually, I didn't even use powder. I used, sometimes I put this tiny bit of stuff under my eyes because my eyes look dark. Dab, 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 dab.
Yeah.
I do my own hair and it was done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They'd always want you, normally you're allotted like 30 minutes or 45 minutes for hair and makeup. And I'm like, when you're starting at 6:30, I don't want to be here at 5:45 a.m. when I can be here at 6:15.
Yeah.
5 minutes hair and makeup, get my clothes on, I'm ready to go. But they'd want you there 45 minutes before. So sometimes I'd push that boundary a little bit.
And it's like hurry up and wait. That's the saying in the industry. Like you hurry up and then you don't, sometimes it's late. Sometimes you're waiting for like 2 hours, so I get that. Tim, tell me about El Rosé. What was the journey like from idea to bottle, and what drew you into the wine game to begin with?
So I've always been interested in wine. Back when I grew up in Newcastle, which is close to the Hunter Valley, and Dad used to give us a little bit of port when we were younger, have a little bit of port. Red wine, I'd be like, tastes like dirty water.
Yeah.
But one of my first vineyard tours, I was probably about 20, and you go there and you hear the winemakers talk about the passion and the science and everything that goes into their wines. You hear them talk about it and you're like salivating before you're even drinking it, and then you pair it with the right things. Next minute I'm like, this red wine doesn't just taste like dirty water, it tastes like someone's heart and soul, their passion, and I can start to, so there's like blueberries and raspberries and all this stuff that I wasn't looking for before. So I think it's something where there's wine drinking where you can just go whoosh, and you're chatting and you're offing it down. And then there's times we can slow down and swirl, smell, be really present with your senses. It's almost a form of like meditation, being present, really taking in everything. There's a level, then there's too much of a level where like checking out the legs and doing all that. That's wanker level, but just being a little more conscious and tasting, just like good food, like taking the time to appreciate the textures and this and that. I think it's nice to slow down a little bit. So I got into it through that, always had a passion. Played a wine guy on Neighbours. I was like, international wine Pierce extraordinaire, Pierce Grayson.
There we go.
And then when the day my daughter was born, I'm holding her in my arms and I'm like riding high on oxytocin, that's the love chemical. And I'm like, I want to make something in your name. What can I do? And I'm like, you know what? Wine, rosé, pinks, feminine. I could make that El Rosé. I'm like, that just works.
It's amazing.
Rosé. And so I set a little goal for myself and said, right, I'm going to do that one day. So I spoke to a good mate of mine, he's a sommelier, told him my idea. And it wasn't something where I go, oh, I've got this business idea and I want to make a heap of money. It was more just, I have a little passion project. I want to make something in her name, but if I'm going to do it, I want to make it really good, something that people can enjoy, something I can be proud of, something I could pass on to her that she can be proud of. Partnered with the grape growers. It's a family, 3-generation families that run, at the moment, they all run the wine. Well, the little kids don't work, but there's their granddad, their sons, and then their kids. We buy the grapes from them. Some of the best grapes in Australia. They charge us for it too. And then we have a winemaker who's amazing. He has his own winery, but he makes it for us the way we want it. So we give them the grapes, they make it. And then I'm there when we're picking the grapes, I'm there when we're squeezing it. We meet up, we benchmark, and we tell them, so we want to make a French style rosé and really see how much we can take it to the French. So when I go to a restaurant, it's really hard. A lot of times it'll be an Aussie rosé that might be by the glass. And it's hit and miss. You can't really trust it. So sometimes you're like, I'll just get a bottle of French because I can trust it. So I want to be the Australian bottle that you can trust, that's going to be that dry Provence style rosé. Right. Give the French a run for their money on our home soil. So it's like, how much can we with the terroir, the soil, the what we have to work with in Australia, how much can we get something that is as enjoyable as the French, the good French stuff. You know, on the back of the bottle, it has that little blurb about my daughter, and you know, and then initially it's all your family and friends buy in, and then more people share and try. Then we went into the Australian New Zealand Boutique Wine Awards this year.
Awesome, congratulations.
So first wine awards, and so it's not like, you know, you get some small ones like the Dungog wine, but this is Australian, New Zealand wide, blind tasted against 100 rosés, and we won gold. So that was good testament to everything. It's not just it's not just some dude whacking his name on a white label, you know, bit of something the winery had left over. This is from the ground up. You pull in the team and you make something beautiful that we're really proud of. And won the award to go with it, which, you know, when it's blind tasted, they don't know anything about it. They're just tasting it against 100 other rosés, and
that's pretty amazing, and that's such an achievement.
Thanks.
When you were developing that, did you know much about how rosé was made, or is this something that you really dive into? And
I was drunk the whole time. I know what I like to drink, but I had no idea on the process of it. So we would meet with a winemaker, and I'd be like, right, so see the, you know, that bit of salinity there, or the, see how that one's got a tang, like my terminology, you know, now I'm like, it's got green apple acidity and stuff, you know, that, can we tone down the green apple acidity and the herbaceousness of it? That's how I can speak now, but initially I'm like, you know, that tangy feeling, tangy, like, how do we tone that back? How do we do this? How do we do that? He interprets my language and goes, okay, what I need to do is, you know, add a bit of, put it in some wood, or do this, or do that, or pick the grapes a touch earlier, or whatever, you know, or when we squeeze it out, we leave it on skins a little longer to get more tannin come through, or we need to squeeze it out quicker and get no tannin. You know, all these little things. So I've learned a lot of that, but it was like this, you know, the sciencey guy and then the taster guy, and these two languages intersecting. You know? Abbreviate, trying to talk to someone who, you know, a little bit of Spanish, trying to work it out.
No complaint.
In Australia, a lot of wineries won't come from it as a rosé first. They're basically, they go, we sell red, we sell white. We've got a bit of leftover red. What do we do with it? It's not quite good enough to make a Shiraz. Let's just make a rosé out of it. You know, so it's rosé as a secondary thought. It's kind of leftover stuff, and maybe if we put this together and do that, it might taste all right. So a lot of Australian rosé, not all, but like there's a lot that's a secondary thought. We come at it first, primarily, how do we make the best rosé we can? And so that's why we pay 4 times for our grapes for what you probably pay generally the going rate for Shiraz these days. Our stuff is handpicked, it's premium, and so it is more of a premium price in Australia. That's not the Tim Robards price tag on it. Like, literally, we want to make the best rosé, so we get the best grapes, the best winemaker, and we've done that. Hence winning awards. You don't do that with shit grapes and shit winemaking.
It's not a fluke, that's for sure. This guy actually rocked up today with one of these for me. Look at that. I get to try this tonight, so looking forward to it.
One of the things sometimes people question price and things in this app, but one thing I learned, that label, I wanted to have like, remember the business card scene out of American Psycho? And they're holding the card and he's like, it's a thick textured, you know, however many micron thick paper. I wanted that kind of feeling. So you wanted to like touch the label and feel the thickness, and there is a limit to how thick you can get that on there. But that is the thickest we could get, and it's an Italian cotton paper. And initially in our first run, those labels cost us $4 a label. Most wineries probably get away with 20 cents. So we were, that's in comparison. So we were paying $4 a label.
That's a lot of money.
Because I wanted it to be right. I wanted it to be how I wanted it. It's not very good from a business sense, but we've since got that because we did a lower amount of bottle as well.
Lower MOQ?
So you've got to have a good label to match a good wine.
Definitely.
If you like margaritas, right? If you like margaritas,
yes,
get some jalapeno, a little slice of jalapeno. drop 1 or 2 into your rosé, and it gives it this, gives it this like Mexican-y, fresh kind of like you're like, hey, I'm drinking rosé.
Yeah.
What do I feel like I'm drinking a margarita? In a way, it's just got this.
So jalapeno, so just cut it up.
Just a little slice, 1 or 2 slices, and just
Chuck it in the rosé.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it actually tastes. It's really cool. Nice cold rosé, and it's really good.
So you got a hack right here from Tim Robards himself. Jalapeno, rosé, al rosé,
Jalapeno,
I should say.
Yeah, fresh jalapeno. You don't want like a juicy fermented thing. You want a fresh slice of jalapeno.
Doing it. I might have to do this tonight then. For as long as I've known you, you've been stacked. So what is the Tim Robards regime? What's the situation? Tell us, what are you doing nutrition-wise? What are you doing training-wise? How do you maintain the rig?
I've always prided myself on having good balance. I'm a Libran. Maintaining balance. I don't like count calories and things. I sort of have an idea of what foods are calorie rich. So yeah, I try a bit of that. And I know that if I haven't trained much that day or for 2 days, I'll go a little easier on the food. If I'm training more, I know I can eat a little more. Generally, I kind of have to maintain. You never know when something's going to come up. You got an audition or a little modeling-y thing, or someone goes, right, there's a like men's health cover shoot. You got 3 weeks. You know, you don't want to you can't do much in 3 weeks. So
2 days.
You kind of have to be like ready to go all the time. And I like that because I don't want to feel like I was inspired initially when I was younger by Men's Health. It was about 14, 15 when the first one came out. I used to look at that and it wasn't like, you know, the Muscle Nation mags, all that. They're like rip. 3% body fat, probably on steroids, all that. I wasn't really inspired by that. Men's Health was like the fit lifestyle guy, maybe 10% body fat, you know, it's something you maintain, it's a lifestyle. You're not counting calories and all totally into how you look. It's more about, you can tell that dude can function well, he trains, but he lives a fun, healthier lifestyle. That was what inspired me. So I kind of want to maintain that. And, you know, your physique is a reflection of your lifestyle and how you're eating. But like, you know, I eat this stuff all the time, but not every day. But
which is okay.
Because I want to, you know, I think finding balance, and I'll train up this, you know, and when you do train, you can afford to, you know, have a few more like cheaty meals. But I don't like to think that they're not cheat meals. You're not cheating.
You're not cheating.
You're just, you know, food. I try and eat good quality food when I can. But it's all been, I've been really good with balance.
That's really good. But I know firsthand that's not something that you just stumbled on. That's a life of tweaking and finding what works for your body, and right?
I started training when I was 13. I think that my mum was sick when I was younger. She was going through some real chronic stuff. They diagnosed with chronic fatigue, narcolepsy, all this stuff. The main thing that she wasn't really narcoleptic, but she went through so many things, and seeing her struggle with something they couldn't diagnose, but she'd be bedridden a lot of the time, have convulsions and this and that. And it kind of made me look and go, right, there's no one answer, but how do you be just generally healthy, eat good food, exercise, sleep well, look into all the main pillars of you know, mental fitness. The other thing for me back then, when I was 13, I wanted to join the football team. And I was quite a quiet kid, and always quiet and conscientious on my report card. I wasn't the outgoing one. I was played handball at lunch, and not quite the nerdy group, sort of in the middle. I wasn't the jock group, I was in the middle, but I wanted to play football because I grew up in Newcastle and I just, you know, loved it, but I was always pretty scared. And so I kind of, I was like, right, I'm going to join next year, so I'm going to work hard in the gym. And I set that goal, and when I started seeing results and getting a bit stronger, it was something I just did. It was my little discipline. Usually at night watching Dawson's Creek, and after school, it was my little discipline. No one else back then did. And when I started seeing the results of that strength helping me playing footy, I'd made the team, I'd play, and guys were like, they'll be bigger than me, but I could tackle them, and people were like, man, like, you're strong, you know? Beat everyone in arm wrestles, and that became, when no one else was training, that was like my little superpower. So I've hung on to that since I was 13, and I think it's remained, and just being consistent. It's my little thing that sets me aside. I saw something the other day that was saying like, it was like point whatever % of people have abs in It was like an area. It was one of those, like the whole country, or no, it was a city or something. But
Eastern
like,
suburbs.
it was something like that where they used to go, it was like a pretty big city. And they go, I think it was what's the tech capital of America? Above, in California.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, next to that. With all the trams. San Francisco. So they said something like, in San Francisco, this percentage of people have abs, and it came out and it was like 100 and something. I don't know. It was a small amount. You're like, well, where do they get a stat from?
Yeah.
But also, really, is there only that amount of people who, I guess, look after themselves to that degree? Maybe it could be 1,030. I don't know. Don't quote. But it was a small number. You get the point. And I was like, man, out of it, there's not that many people who actually really train hard, look after themselves. And then there's that other level of people become infatuated, and it's a bad thing. But just to be generally fit to the level that you can have abs, not really training for abs, but you just have abs because that's what represents your lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. Not that many people. And so for me, that was a bit of a strength that separated me from people. I started getting into, I did a bit of modeling stuff. So when I was 18, 19,
he's playing it down. But he's had men's health covers. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, so I started doing that, and well, at that time of your life, most people are earning $20 an hour. And I'd be able to go out, do a little campaign, or go and shoot something. It might be like $1,000 for 2 hours work. I was like, this is actually pretty cool. And so part of it, a lot of stuff might be physique work and whatever, and have to have your rig out a bit. But I started going, this, because it is a unique thing. Not a lot of people look after themselves at that level. And a little bit of genetics and things like that. I know maybe it's easier for me, maybe it's not. I don't know. I've always just worked my ass off. So I don't do nothing. I work my ass off, and in a good way, in many ways. But when I say work my ass off, I don't train 10 hours a day, but when I go to the gym and train, in that time, might be 45 minutes. In that time, I work my ass off. Everything I do, I give 100%, 110%. So it's not like I work my ass off and I'm just slogging away 3 hours a day, 10 hours a day. But when I do train, I push that level. I want to, if my younger self was looking up, you want to be the dude that he's proud of.
Absolutely.
My older self, whatever.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. I was talking to Dan McPherson about this recently on an episode, and we were
he got in April.
We're sort of geeking over nutrition and working out and talking about what you just said about staying ready in the entertainment industry as an actor, particularly, or being front facing. You kind of have to always be ready, like 2 kgs away from, or whatever, like a really small window away from being ready. So that's challenging too.
It's challenging. You could be nervous and I've always got to be ready. Or you can look at it I get to work in an industry where I have to be ready, but it makes me put my best foot forward. Because it is sometimes easy to just sit on the couch, get up, do I go to the gym, do I not, whatever. You've got this thing, so in saying that, I still, every night, I sit on the couch, I do nothing, I watch TV for a bit. I'm not use every hour of the day to be, there's time, you gotta have a good balance and chill. But when I do work, I work hard, strong, and put in, 100% effort.
Do you have a favorite trinket, AKA chocolate chips, something treat?
Tim Tam.
Really?
It's just, Is there
any names in it? Oh,
it is. Well, I am the Tim Tam genie. I've been the Tim Tam genie for the last 4 years. But because, it sort of started because they send me a few. So my fridge was always stocked up with the never ending packets of Tim Tams. It was actually a real life genie. They just kept rocking up at the door. It's funny. Great. But I love they're just the right size. I can have one, it's enough, out of the fridge. It's the right size, double coated, the best. And I just have a little bite and just make that one Tim Tam last me as long as I could. I'd just stretch it out. When I eat a bit of dark chocolate, I like the Old Gold from Cadbury, Old Gold. A little bit less sugar. You just suck on that phrase, you really try and draw it out and enjoy that. I can be good, I can eat 2 to 4 pieces a night and I'm done. I don't have to have the whole packet of Tim Tams or it's my vice, but it's also my self-control that, so I still have it, but I don't go overboard and blow out.
It's good. So sorry to interrupt, is it actually Tim Tam should be in the fridge, not the pantry because it's controversial.
It's a good question.
What I think
What is it?
is they should be in the fridge.
Okay, why? Give me the logic behind it. I'm curious to hear. Right?
Taste different, and I think like when they're out of the fridge, right, they will melt in your fingers a little earlier, and like it's just a different experience. When they're in the fridge, there's more of a crisp little crunch, especially from the chocolate. You know, when you bite into the first one, you're not just getting the biscuit crunch, you're getting the chocolate crunch on the outside, and then it lasts a little bit long, takes a little bit longer to melt in your mouth, so it lasts longer. The flavor's a little bit different because I think as you get through the layers, it just takes a little more time. It's like Australians, we drink red wine too hot generally in Australia. Red wine, it shouldn't be out of the fridge, but it should sit at about 16 degrees. Too hot, if it's 25 degrees, you're getting too much of the alcohol fumes that can take away. If you drink it too cold, you don't get anything. You want this in between. It's the same thing with the Tim Tam.
Come from the Tim Tam genie? What is it, the Tim genie?
From the, Hey, there's no one higher up the rung in Tim Tams than the Tim Tam genie. So take it from the genie himself.
We're going to put a poll up. Do you think Tim Tam should be stored in the fridge or in the pantry? Let us know. That's the first.
Anyone who says pantry is a psycho.
Well, but also you want it to be soft and melt, not hard, and that's my thing. Like it's better for it to be a bit warmer than cold. Otherwise it's like a dessert. It's like a dessert, like a, do you know what I mean? Cold.
But
Do you prefer it to be?
It's the way the chocolate crumbles as you bite into it, you know?
I feel like you're doing an ad right now. Here we go. Here we go.
Ready? Just do it with his face.
It's happening.
How good are your editing skills? Oh, they're gone.
There you go. As someone that is a front-facing person, public figure, a lot of the time now with the industry, it's spent on this thing. How do you carve out boundaries for yourself for peace of mind and just to keep yourself centered, you know?
Yeah, I struggle with that a little bit because a lot of times, you know, I create content myself for different brands, but also now creating content for d-Elle-cious.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for ideas, and sometimes that can be the excuse. You start scrolling and you know, I've got bits where I save content. I'm like, oh, I could replicate something like that, save. Then something pops up about the galaxy and whatever. I'm like, oh, it's really cool. You know, I like all this random shit. Then there might be I get like 10 messages from mates, and then you watch their things, and you know, you can get sucked in. But a big part of it is work. So really, there's times where I find myself just going, oh no, I've got to get out of that. Like I'm now doom scrolling, trying to get onto that early, trying to put it away when the kids are around is a big one. There's sometimes where I have to work, and I do so much of my editing on this. I'm checking, you know, my Shopify, my meta ads and all this stuff, all on that. I'm not on my laptop much, but I need to get onto that more because I think you just have so many more interruptions on that can come in, and then you go, oh, I've just checked meta ads. Let's just jump back on Instagram. Whereas if I was on my computer, check meta ads. I'm not going to bring up Instagram. I need to get better at that. It's a work in progress. Definitely, my kids are a good reminder to put it down and be present with them, because you don't want them to be like, Dad, and you're like, you know, why do I feel second to your phone? But there's times where I have to say, look, Elle, we're working, and you know I'm working, and I'll be clear with her, I'm working right now, it's work time, and I'll be with you in 10 minutes, and then I give her 10 minutes, phones away. So I'm at 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever that is, give her that time, and it's really good quality time. But I don't want to I really try and be careful not to be like half, trying to do this, trying to be with her, because then they're just half. You got to be, this is work time, bang, phone away, now it's you time, and be really specific with that.
Tim, what life challenge are you most proud of conquering?
I think becoming a father is like a pretty big one. I haven't conquered it yet because it's never ending almost. That's a big step. It's a really good one. Comes with so much positivity, so much love you never knew you were capable of, but then also so much new stuff, so much, you've got to become so efficient, you know, you're responsible for these little people, and like now so many times we're like, And we have Ruby 3 days a week. We have someone helps out 2 days a week, but 3 days a week, and we're still trying to work full time. We're like juggle. It's hard, you know. It's a challenge, but it's rewarding. And then I think the other thing was, it was probably the biggest turning point in my life was like, you know, Bachelor days. When I did that was a big challenge I was still quite a nervous young man who cared about what people thought, and I had to really step into myself and own those things and be kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
And then SAS was another big one. That was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, and to win that was like one of the things I was most proud of.
Yeah, wow.
I was just coming through what I'd been through before to get there. It wasn't easy. You know, I look a certain way, but now like my knees, my shoulders, my this, I had all of my back, I've had chronic issues and things that for me, that was a big challenge I was really proud of to get to the end of.
Because you've had, even back in the day, in the Robards method days, the injuries that you had, and you had to like work your way back up again, right? So mixture. In some ways, you know, people say, oh, good genetics, look a certain way, but one of the things that I know that I've not got great genetics in is my tendons. My tendons, unless they're really warm, they have a tendency to want to snap. If I push them, I'm quite hypermobile. And I've torn my bicep off the bone, I've torn my rec fem off the bone, hamstring in half. Like there are a few of the big injuries that I've had to have surgery and get them reattached, you know. As a chiropractor, 15 years, it's physical work. And I've had so many tendinitis, knees. I used to play touch footy, squash, training. Like I've pushed my body a lot. I try and do everything I can for it, but there's chronic injury, lower back, a few injuries, and that's been chronic that you don't really get to, you don't want to whinge about, but I know in my head, it really drains me, and it's a lot of work to get around, and pretty good now, but going into SAS, long story short, had 100 days on a double strength antibiotic. They thought I had a suspected infection. It's this new kind of science, new spinal infection. Yeah. So I had to go on 100 days of antibiotics. Normally I wouldn't touch antibiotics with 10-foot pulp, but I was desperate. The doctor said, most likely by the end of this, you'll be shitting through a straw and you'll probably need a stool transplant. Wow. I finished those 100 days, 5 days before I went into SAS. So went into SAS with him basically saying you'll be shitting through a straw, chronic diarrhea, and your energy will be low. You just killed every bit of good flora in your gut, but also potentially there's bad stuff. And there was that was one of the challenges on top of these injuries that I was having that made it for me personally. Not many people know that, but like to get through that and be able to train through that time, like the 100 days I had of antibiotics, I was training for that show during that, and you could feel it, like the energy levels, but I was having to train 2-3 times a day. So it was something where, you got to show a bit of grit, and that was the whole part of that was like, I've now created a life that in some ways could be quite cushy. We're comfortable, and it's sometimes you got to create adversity to keep yourself sharp. And I was questioning, is it still in me? And some of this chronic stuff, I'm also like, is this now in my head? Chronic injuries, they can become in your head. So I want to go in there, really feel how much pain can I feel, and almost can I reset those pain things, because just doing what I'm doing day to day, I shouldn't be feeling this pain. So let's go in there, get absolutely punished, try and reset those pain parameters and show you this is what real pain is, and see if I can reset that, and also see, am I still the boy from Newcastle who grew up working class, who's got that grit and determination, and is it still there? It's clearly still there.
It was there. Trying to keep it there,
Yeah. And to finish things off, Tim, I'm going to hit you with some fast trivia. You ready for this? Question number 1. What fitness brand was founded by Greg Glassman and is known for its WODs?
I'm going to get this wrong, but it's not Gymshark.
I should say like fitness style, fitness type.
Oh, what, like, okay, fitness type, as in CrossFit?
Yes,
okay,
correct.
I thought you meant like, I was like,
What compound found in red wine is known for its potential heart health benefits?
Resveratrol?
Yes, correct. Who is considered the founder of modern chiropractic care, delivering the first documented adjustment in 1895?
Yes, I know this dude. Who's, come on, sir. Snot, Dawson, next letter?
DDP, that's the initials.
DDP, yeah. DD Palmer.
Almost correct. Daniel David Palmer. You got it. You got it.
Yeah, we used to call him
Yes.
D.D. Palmer,
Yeah.
not Daniel David Palmer. Then his son came in, took over.
Yeah.
His name was B.J. Palmer.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I give that one to you.
D.D. Palmer, B.J. Palmer, probably psychos. The guy used to be a magnetic healer. It's not a good look for him.
Oh, really?
He was onto something, but he was a bit out there back in the day.
How many steps are in the Chubbuck technique as laid out in The Power of the Actor book?
12?
Yes, correct. Last but not least, what is the name of the wine region in South Australia known for producing Old Shiraz and home to Penfolds Grange?
Barossa.
Correct. Tim, thanks so much for coming on the show, bro.
Thanks, mate. Cheers.
If you love this episode of Banter with BC, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.